In today's session, we will see just a few concepts. One is about final keyword and the other is about the access specifiers. So we have seen the concept of overriding. Overriding means it is like changing the value. Means, for example, if a is equal to 10 over here, and after some lines of code, a is becoming 12, or maybe you are making a as 12, the same a. Okay, means once you have declared and initialized here, and after some time the same a, you are changing its value. It is possible. But if you don't want it to get changed, if you want a to be 10 only always throughout your program, you want it to act as a constant value a. Means constant value 10, the a should have. A should not change to any other value, not even minus 10. Okay, that means sign also should not change. In such cases, it is as if you are overriding a, right? Whatever is coming in the end, or as the number of lines of code increases, if your a is changing, then it is like your latest value of a is overriding the previous value of a. There may be some more lines of code over here, and then again a is changing to suppose 19. Now we can say that a is equal to 19 is going to override a is equal to 12. Do you agree with my statements? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if we don't want this to happen, if we want to make a to have a constant value, if we don't want a to get overridden, that time we must use a keyword called as final. If I write final int a equal to 10, that time if a is going to change, then it will give me an error. Okay, means if it is a final variable, then a cannot change. Even if you try to change a, it will give you an error. And if you don't change a, no error. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is for variables. Similarly, for methods also you can have, and it can also be for classes. So let us see some examples. This is another example. In this example, int I equal to 10. And then using some operation, you're going to increase the value of I. Not necessarily you're always going to reassign or update. It may be by an operation also. It is not necessary always you may do I equal to 20, then you may do I is equal to 30. It may be possible that I is equal to I plus 20, or I left shift 2, something like that. Some operation you're performing on I, due to which the value of I is changing. Such cases are also not allowed. Now here, I have not written the final keyword. So in this case, it is allowed. But if I write here final int I equal to 10, and on the next line, if I do I is equal to I plus 20, or maybe at any other line after this final line, means after this particular line, after this line where I have initialized I for the first time, after this particular line, if I changes anywhere due to any reason, it will give you an error. This is another example where I is changing due to an operation. See, for example, the same program with the final keyword, and then I is changing by adding 20 to it. That time what happens, it is saying cannot assign a value to final variable I. And at which line you're getting the error? At this line, I is equal to I plus 20. Now this particular program has been run using the command prompt. Okay, so that is why you're getting the output in some different way. You're not using your IDE, you're not using VS Code, you're not using IntelliJ IDEA, you're using the basic command prompt and your system on which JDK has been installed. So this is also possible. Okay, so it will highlight the line number also, and it will give you the error message also. Now similarly for methods. Now we know that in which case overriding takes place. What is the, like, is it between two classes? if it is between two classes, then when overriding takes place, what have we seen? When does overriding take place between two classes? When we have some concept called as something. What is that concept? All these days, which concept of object oriented programming we are seeing? Inheritance, right? So whenever we have inheritance, that time usually we have overriding. So this is another example where we have a demo class, base class. Am I audible, right? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is a base class called as demo, and a test class is the child of the demo class. Means test is the derived class and demo is the base class. Now you can see here in the demo class you have a method m1, and in the test class child class also you have m1. So this is a case of overriding. Now you can see here there are two possible outputs. If the m1 of the base class you're seeing, then the output will be I am in demo class. And if you're seeing the m1 in the test class, that time you can see the output as I am in test class. So as per our inheritance, the general inheritance that we have seen till now, if I use an object of test class, okay, here what I'm saying, if I use an object of test class, then using that object, if I call method m1, then m1 of the base class or m1 of the derived class, which one will get executed? Yes. Previously, you all have answered this question. Then now why is it difficult? Any guesses? If I use this syntax, test obj equal to new test, and then I write obj dot m1. So what will be my output? Can you tell me?
I'm in test class.
Yes. Okay. Because of overriding. Okay. Same thing is written over here. These are some conditions of overriding. Like you know that the method name should be same and it should be in different classes. Otherwise, if it is in the same class, you'll get error. Okay. Means if you have void m1 in the demo class, and in the demo class again you have void m1, that time you'll get an error. But if void m1 is in demo class and void m1 is in test class, that time you won't get error. It will be overriding case. That means in the same class, if everything of the method is same, you cannot have m1 in the same class again and again. But in the base class and derived class, you can have m1. That is overriding. If in the same class, it is error. And it should have same arguments, same number of arguments, same data type of the argument, same sequence of the arguments. Okay, that we know it. Now, if I don't want the overriding, so basically we use final keyword to avoid the overriding. Okay, to make it as a constant or non-changeable entity. So for now, we know that this is M1 and this is M1. Now, if I use test class object to call M1, the test class version of this function will get called. That means this will be the output. Now, if I use my final keyword over here for the void function, void m1 function in the demo class, if I use my final keyword over here, if I write here final void m1, then any guesses what should be the output? Just like your final variables. If I write here final int a equal to 12, and then I go to change the value of a, it will give me an error. So here, what should be the output? Any guess from your side? If I'm using final keyword for the method, here also you will get an error. Okay. As I said, final keyword is used to avoid the overriding concept. So in such cases, if you use final keyword for the method in the base class, which is common to both the classes, then you'll get an error. Is this clear? Yes. Yes or no? Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so here I've used the final keyword, and that time when I run my program, you're getting an error. And at which line number? At the method of the derived class. There you'll get an error because of this, which is inside the derived class, because of that you're getting error. So that line number will give you the error, line number 10, as you can see here. Similarly, you can use it for classes also. So I can say that I have the demo class, which is a base class, and I have a test class, which is a derived class from demo. If you do it like this, it is working. But once you use the final keyword for the base class, and after that you try to extend the base class, means you try to derive something from the base class, and if that base class is a final class, that time again you'll get an error. That means the demo class cannot be overridden, or you cannot inherit something from it. If you try to inherit or make it as a parent class, it is giving you an error if that class is final class. So again, the error will be cannot inherit from final demo. And why you're getting the error? Because of this particular line number 5, because you're trying to extend it at line number 5. At that line, the error message, because of that line, error is you're getting it. So where all can we use final keyword? Can you tell me till now which examples where all we have seen final keyword? We have seen it for methods, we have seen it for classes, and where else we have seen? Just now we saw 3 cases. Which is the other case? For the variables, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, variables not necessarily always this particular case that I showed you all. Like you're incrementing the value of I, which is final. This is one case. Or simply after a few lines of code, you're going to change the value of I. This is one case. Then again in inheritance between two classes also, you can make the variables final. For example, class A1, it can only have the data members or the states or the properties. Not necessarily always the class will have its methods. Okay. Then you have a class B in which I'm accessing X. B1 is a class which is the child of A1 class. So can you tell me, is this X inside B1 and this X inside A1, are they the same X or are they the different X? Yes, they are the same X, because if I'm not initializing X in my child class, then the X will be it will try to find the same variable X in the parent class. If it does not find the declaration of X inside itself, inside the child I'm using X, if it does not find the declaration of X inside itself, then it will search for the same X variable inside the parent class. That is how we access the methods of the parent. Otherwise, all the methods of the child get executed. Only if that method is not found in the child, we go and search inside the parent class. And once we get that method in the parent class, that time it will get executed from the parent class. So here also I have int x, and here also I have int x in the parent as well as in the child. So if I run this program and show you, there's no error. Means what? This x is the x data member of A1 class, and this x is it a data member of B1 class, or is it a local variable of the show method? Can you guess? This x, is it a data member of B1 class, or is it a local variable of the show method? Yes. Why so silent today? Hmm? Am I audible? At least say yes for audible, otherwise I may think that there's some audio issue.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
Yes, sir.
audible?
Audible.
Yes. Okay, so are you all tired? Because not many people attended offline college, so you all were at home only, right? Anyways, so here x is equal to 12. It is a data member of A1 class. But if I write any variable inside a method of a class, if I write any variable which is inside a method of a class, that variable becomes a local variable for that particular method inside which I have written that variable. Here, if I write int y, then y is a data member of B1 class, or is y a normal local variable? Can you tell me now?
Data member.
Data member.
Yes, it is a data member. Okay. So if you try to access the value of x over here inside the show method, always the x, which is this x, will get displayed. Now, if I have an x over here inside the same class, I have a data member x equal to suppose 90, and I also have a local variable x. And I try to print the value of x inside the method. Inside the method, I'm trying to print the value of x. And now if I run this program, it will print 13 only, right? Means, first of all, it will search for x within itself, within its own scope, within these two curly brackets only. If it does not find this x, for this example, here I've removed the x. Now it will search for x inside the class. That means x equal to 90. 90 will get printed when I run this program, as you can see here. Now, if I remove this x over here also, now it is not present in this child class at all. Then where it will search for x in its parent. So now if I run this program, it will print the x value as 12. That is from its parent. Now in the parent, you may have another method like disp. And inside this method also, you're trying to print the value of x. And here also you have an int x equal to 50. Now, from your child class, you're trying to print the value of x. You do not have x in your child class at all. So you will find x in the parent class. Now there are two x's in the parent class. One is data member x and one is local variable x. So now if I run my program, which x the child is going to access, that we have to see. It will access 12 because the child will never access the local method, will never access the x which is inside a local method. The child class will never try to access the x variable which is inside a method of its parent. It will always access the x variable which is a data member of its parent. Okay, so remember these cases. Okay, is it clear whatever I said?
Yes.
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 Okay, now actually we deviated from the topic. The main aim was to show final keyword. Okay, anyways, that was some extra topic which x will get accessed and all. Now there is x over here, and if I try to simply see, there is a difference between int x equal to some value like 90, and there is a difference if I write only x equal to 90. What is the difference? Can you like, is it, do you understand what is the difference here? If I write int x equal to 90, and if I simply write x equal to 90, this int x equal to 90, which is this x same as the x in the parent? True or false? This x and this x, are they same? This
No.
x and this x, they are
No.
not same because I have initialized x here. It is a different x variable of the child. But if I simply write, if I remove this int x 90, and now I simply write x equal to 90, then this x and the parent x, are they the same?
Yes.
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 Now if I keep this int x 90 inside my show method, and then I make this x equal to 112, now this x equal to 112 and this x equal to 90, are they the same? Or this x equal to 112 and this x equal to 12, are they same? Which two x's are same? 100 and
90 and 2.
what 90 and 12 are what?
No, 90 and 112.
Yes, 90 and 112 are what? Same. Okay. So
Yes.
yeah. So as I said, it will always search for x in its own self. Inside the method itself, it has found the x variable over here. So it will not search outside. This is the x that will be considered for this x. So when I write x equal to 112, it is this x equal to 90, which will become x equal to 112. This x will get modified to 112. Now, okay, there are only these two x's now. This local x and this x in the parent. Now, if I write here final keyword in the parent x, as you can see, I'm getting an error message over here. This is final, and this x is also that same parent x. So I'm trying to overwrite or reassign or update the value of x, which is not possible. That is why it is giving me an error. If I run this program also, I will get an error. See, cannot assign a value to final variable is the error message. So variable can be final in three ways. One is one class and another class. Between classes, you can have the final variables. Okay, so it is with inheritance I'm talking about. There also variables get overwritten, and that you can prevent using final keyword. Then in the same class also, here if I reassign the value of x equal to 45, there also you'll get an error because x is final. You cannot change the value of x. Okay, so x can be changed. I mean, here if I have int x equal to 112, and then if I make x equal to 90, it's fine, it will get updated. But if I make this x as final, this x cannot change. So inside the same method, x can be made final. Between two classes, x can be made final. In the same loop, due to some arithmetic operation, the value of x may change. So there are different ways where value is changing, which we want to prevent. And we have seen it with methods also, and we have seen it with respect to classes also. If a class is final, it cannot have any derived class. So is this concept of final variables clear? Yes, final is like constant. You cannot change the value of final variable. So it is whatever value you store for the first time inside a final variable, that will be stored throughout your program. So that variable will always have a constant value. So you don't have the, just a minute. So if I write here const, see unexpected token. That means you do not have a const keyword inside your Java programming language. Const is a reserved keyword which will be used in future purpose if it has to be used. Const and another reserved keyword is, do you know about it? It is goto. Okay, initially in the lectures I've told that const and goto are the reserved keywords which will be used in future. They are not currently existing in your Java programming language. That is why we have final keyword. In C++ you have const. In C language also you have const. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there is one more concept which I had planned for today, but it will take time and I am a little busy. So we'll stop here for today. You can put your attendance in the chat box and ask me if you have any doubts. And okay. Okay, if you put your attendance, you can leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.